Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for September 17th through 20th, 2021. Wow, are you feeling it? It appears that we're going through quite a rapid awakening. And this is building the energy by the day. It's a very interesting energy, but the astrology, the planets, the stars, all speaking to this process that we're in that we could call the Great Awakening. So there's an interesting energy. We've got the sun coming to the end degrees of Virgo, getting ready to shift over into the sign of Libra, that equinox point. And the Virgo, the end degrees of Virgo in the sun there is activating, excuse me, the planetary healer in all of us. This cleansing, this purification of the feminine, the activation of our ability to sort through and clean up our world. So what the energy that we're feeling is an increase, an activation of ascension energies, higher dimensional energies. And it's a really interesting thing because there's this feeling like we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And like, for how many years have people been saying, oh, this is, we're having this spiritual awakening, we're having this ascension, we're having this, and now we're starting to feel it palpably. But it's an interesting energy because it appears that it's only a portion of the population. And for those of us that feel like we haven't been able to, we are surrounded by people that are not on the ascension train. And it's a very strange time because, well, it's kind of validates that message that's come through around supernova souls that you're here to lead the way. And, but it's very, very strange. And know that the Great Awakening, this ascension, this energy is coming in. What that means is that there's also a rapid cleansing. So those of us who have been on the conscious awareness of this awakening process, are, kind of know what's going on some level, but there's still this feeling of like waiting and waiting, almost like I keep getting the analogy of a woman giving birth and labor, or about to, waiting for labor to start, right? And it's like waiting and waiting and waiting. And then it's like, wait, is it starting? Is it false labor? Is it real? Is this really happening? And then it's like, wait, am I ready? Do I have all my birth kit? Am I prepared? So it's a really interesting energy going on, but know that there are souls that are supernova souls, but for some reason they had to stay deeper hidden in the consciousness of who they are. And so you may be poised in a position to be able to support that soul by explaining these concepts to them and that it's going to be okay. But what's going on is like energies of like this awareness, this ecstasy, this Christ consciousness, this like oneness, this like, yes, it's really happening. Everything we always wanted and thought about, but that also means this rapid cleansing of the psyche. And what's happening is that, and then I can hear supernova souls being like, I've done so much healing, so much clearing. Like, how is there more to do? Really? But there is, because there's deep hidden in our subconscious from past lives or something we haven't been able from a trauma from this life, deep in our subconscious. And so when those things are releasing rapidly, you might feel physical pain, trauma feelings, very strong emotions. And then the thing about it is that you can't back it up with a memory, a conscious memory, right? It's like, and so that makes you feel really, it's just hard to surrender to that release when you don't have the conscious memory to back it up. But your awareness of these deep traumas, say for souls who have gone through dark programs, psychological programs, or that type of thing that's been happening, when you go through that type of stuff, it's happening on all of us, right? Mind control was experiments going on back in the 50s. So we know that's happening, right? But then there's your memory can be wiped, but you still have those experiences, right? And that's kind of what's happened with our past life experiences too. There's been a huge agenda to make sure that we don't access the Akashic records. And it's like, ooh, the Akasha, and it's like, there are records. There are records of our soul experience, and they're right here within us too, right? So on the one hand, there's this rapid cleanse that doesn't make any sense, but you also could get really great insights into your past life, things that have been, this is where we're getting to the nitty gritty here, right? And so just keep that in mind. Be poised in that position to help that soul that had no idea that they were a supernova soul, right? But this is kind of the energy of this bloom of energies, is like, are you on the train or are you off the train? If you're meant to awaken, you're running out of time. And you've had years to do it. And what is it like for a soul that has no idea on any level that they are a supernova soul, right? So really interesting energies. Pay attention to that. In all of this, we're getting this great opportunity to uncover, the great awakening for the supernova soul is recognizing your role in this time, recognizing you've been chosen, recognizing that you've been fully prepared to support this transition on Earth. And it's like opening up to this incredible wealth that's within you. This is the energy. We've got some intense astrology and that kind of describes this. So let's talk it through. Today, we've got Venus in Scorpio. So this is part of the reason for this cleansing. And then Black Moon, Lilith, and Gemini, and the interactions of the planets here, because this is the first Scorpio energy we've had all year. And Venus in Scorpio is facing the depths, going to that nitty gritty, right? And Venus is coming into right now exact square with Saturn today. And then we'll go on to oppose Uranus and Taurus. That's where we get that great revelation. As we release these shadowy darkness energies that have been hidden way, way, way deep in our subconscious, we're lightening our load. We're discovering who we really are in our potential, because we're being called now into our role. Destiny is calling. This is a really powerful energy here, and Venus interacting with the signature astrology of 2021, Saturn square Uranus. And so Venus in exact square with Saturn in Aquarius, saying, if we're going to build in the new age, we got to clean up the nitty gritty, right? We got to face the dark truths. We can't take it with us. And so, but the tables are turning, right? The table's turning, and your reality is about the righteous, all being righted, right? This is the psychic cleanse. In order to be here on Earth, we all had to take on the garbage. We all had to take on the disease. We all had to play the game. We all had to be the victim, but it's time to inherit what's ours. This is the Great Awakening. But we have to understand that the Great Awakening, there's a beautiful, blissful celebration coming, but we've got this rapid cleansing going on right now, leading up to events and whatever is going to happen, right? But it's looking like this next 10 days is very, very powerful. Don't miss a minute. Be present. Be in the light of the truth of who you are. Come back to the joyous discovery of your destiny in these times. This is really activated because Mars is in Libra now, and Mars is in trine to the North Node. And we're just starting to feel that today. And that is exact on the 21st. So right in between the Pisces full moon and the equinox. And so that means that Mars in Libra is in sextile relationship to the South Node. And this is very powerful. The North Node right now, and the nodes of the moon are moving from 4 degrees to 3 degrees, coming to the very last chapter of North Node Gemini, South Node Sag. So it's like, are you going to get it, right? Are you on the train? Did we get the message? Are you ready to go forward? Mars is our warrior, and it's about action. It's our male planet. It's like making it happen, right? Will, the act of our will. And so Mars in Libra is is the warrior, but working for peace and harmony and justice. And how beautiful in this beautiful trine with the North Node and sextile the South Node. And that sextile, Mars, the warrior. This is the art of war, though. This isn't the like, let's go kill them. This is about like the strategic way of working things in the art of war. But Mars says, let's go. And the North Node is pointing to the future. It's how are we going to get to where we're going, right? And Gemini has that mastermind energy ruled by Mercury. So it's like, your destiny is your activation of this higher mind, and it's time to fight without fighting. Get out of the way, surrender to the energies, and allow this rapid awakening to occur. Surrender to this process. And this astrology is supporting us because, but that Mars sextile the South Node is really powerful. Sextiles are creative solutions. And the South Node is about what's holding us back from the past. In Sagittarius, it's the old stories. Now, supernova souls in the pattern of lifetime experiences, there seems to be a pattern, very common pattern of being interrupted in your journey, in your quest, and your path of destiny in a past life, maybe multiple times. This has created an interesting energy that's coming up in this cleanse that I feel called to speak to, that these souls that may have been on a very powerful trajectory of expression and destiny in a lifetime, and then if they were killed, their lifetime was shortened. Those souls often are like, I got to get right back and get to work. So they don't have an adequate rest. It's like a trap. And that soul doesn't go back to source to rest and recapitulate in between lifetimes. Then you have this unresolved personality construct, and you have disconnected from your guides, your connection to the oneness principle, to this feeling like you're here working together as a team. And so that's a really important energy right now, is this resting for what's coming. We're going through rapid changes. It's, radical self-care is called for. And also being like, am I one of these souls that didn't get to rest? It's a time for me to rest now in this energy, to come back into your role in the grand plan. Part of you stuck back in that other dimensional story that is not really what this is about. It wasn't about the story. It was about the bigger plan, right? We got to get back on that divine timeline. And that's exactly what's happening. So, really powerful there. And Mars will go on. So Mars North Node, trine in the North Node it's like, come on, go time, right? Go time. And in air signs. And then Mars will be coming next week, will be coming into trine with Black Moon Lilith and Saturn in Aquarius, Black Moon Lilith in Gemini. So a grand air trine at 7 degrees, 777, the number of Christ consciousness. So we are having a rebirth we are bringing Christ consciousness, birthing it into our field. And the energy, the stars, the trine is supporting us. So air energy is about a renaissance, talking about that greater conjunction that happened in December between Jupiter and Saturn, and moving into air signs, that every 20 years they come together. And now for the next 200 or so, it's going to be in air signs. This speaks to a renaissance. It's the flow of information and energy, song, music, art, a lighter vibration, right? It's about us getting back to the way we're meant to live, not under the control grid and the matrix. So that's everything that's happening now. We're literally being lifted up out of those lower control constructs. They're still there for souls that need them, right? But we're being lifted out. But as you're being lifted out, it's kind of like we get stuck because there's that density, deep subconscious memories, that have been hidden from us. And it's like, so know that we have these beautiful experience of expansive energies, and also like, this, they're both going on, right? We've got the lightest light and the darkest dark right next to each other. So if you fall over back into that black pill energy, know that's just part of it. You might be clearing one of these memories, healing that. You might be feeling the people around you, or an ancestral energy, collective energy. And so just know, don't beat yourself up if you find yourself back down there, because that's kind of our role right now. But the more that we establish ourselves and lighten our load and in those frequencies, the more harmonized it will become. So really powerful grand air trine energy. We also have Mercury in trine to Jupiter. And so Mercury in Libra and trine to Jupiter in Aquarius. And so more air trine energy. And it's kind of like time to lift up. Age of enlightenment, that means lighter. We got to lighten our load. And so hence the rapid cleansing. But Mercury is also in a very tense square. The astrology is off the charts. Like every planet, every sign is speaking on some level right now. And Mercury is slowing down. We've got 1 week until Mercury turns retrograde. It's so funny. This Mercury retrograde is so intense and we haven't even started it yet, So because Mercury in Libra is like coming to, and the astrology associated with this, the square Pluto, 3 weeks of Mercury square Pluto. As Mercury slows down and comes into square with Pluto, it's a feeling of our reality grinding to a halt. And indeed, our old matrix reality is. We can't do both. We got to make a choice. We got to pick a lane. And so, wow, because Mercury in Libra square to Pluto, and but we also have Mercury trine Jupiter. So this is really powerful because I talked about the Sun in Virgo is just coming out of an opposition with Neptune. It's in an inconjunct relationship with Jupiter and Aquarius, and it's in a trine relationship with Pluto and Capricorn. So there's an earth trine, also very helpful energy with that air trine to ground us out a little bit, right? All the Sun and Mercury interacting with these planets now, because we've got these big player planets standing in their places in the last 3 signs of the zodiac, because we've got Pluto in Capricorn, Jupiter in Aquarius, and Neptune in Pisces. And they're between 21 and 23, 24 degrees right now. And so they're lining up, and it's like the Sentry Guard. And it's like they're holding space for the shift of ages. It is the shifting of the guard now. It is the turning of the tables. We have arrived in this moment. And through the end of 2021, whoa, our world is going to look completely different. So put your seatbelt on, buckle up, buttercup, and affirm your place. It's going to become more and more clear how real, organic, and powerful the energies of this ascension, this light, this truth, this Christ consciousness, and how fake the other reality is. And so let that give you the strength to surrender to this process, because that triggering of the South Node is very beautiful, but it's also like these old stories coming up, and then we don't even know, it's subconscious, but we have an attachment to some sort of idea of who we thought we were, and it feels like we have to give it all up, that ego death, but there's nothing to give up. What if you were already more connected to Creator in your mind than you have ever been able to in this incarnation, right? All we're letting go of is the false pretenses or attachments of who we thought we were, but it feels like you're dissolving, but you're dissolving into a more true representation of who you are. And there's nothing you have to give up. except for what's false, and that's being completely ripped away. So it's not like, in the past, it's like, oh, I got to do this. I got to work on clearing this. And it's like, no, just remember that it's just clearing. You can't stop it. So you just got to take care of yourself, keep breathing, keep loving, keep being present in your role here, which is to be that will, that way, that precursor, that living, breathing example of what's possible for humanity, and bravely leading the way in this new frontier of the new age, in this great awakening. So with Venus and T-square with Saturn and Uranus, that's our signature 21 astrology. Like, how are we going to get into the new age? And Venus, when Venus is opposite, comes into the opposition with Uranus, it's this uncovering. I just keep seeing this picture of like Superman, ripping the shirt open and seeing what's in your heart. Incredible wealth. So the great awakening for supernova souls is uncovering this wealth that's within you, which is also your destiny calling. Absolute confirmation. Everything you felt inside, like there's something I'm supposed to do here. What in the world how did I get here? What am I doing? And then like, oh, whoa. So in you coming into your role of destiny is coming into your incredible wealth as an intuitive soul and into your role here. And it's like you can't get through this next chapter without absolute and total confirmation of everything you thought was true deep inside of yourself that nobody could relate to. And, it's time for you to bloom. Now, there's also a message about like the intense emotions and energies. And, and it's like, there's an energy of like, that means you have a true human soul that can activate this God code, so know that that's just part of it. And we're here together. So we're going through the wilderness and it feels alone, but we're here together. Now, this is the whole reason why I do these events. We've got a full moon in Pisces, and I'm doing activation for that one, and a soul group session, group intuitive session, where we go deeper into past life pictures, contractual clearings, timeline alignment, soul group work. And so these events are designed to help us be completely present with the energies, to talk to the planets and stars, say, hey, what is going on for me? And so I hope you'll consider joining. The live activation for the Pisces full moon will be on Monday, the 20th at 4 p.m. Mountain Time in the US. And the Equinox Soul Group Session, Wednesday, the 22nd at 11 a.m. And so the information to sign up for those is in the information box below. And you can, if you can't make the live time in your time zone or with your schedule, don't worry. We're working outside of time, and the replay is available for you right there, right after the event at the same link. So I keep forgetting to talk about also the intuitive training that is starting on September 30th. And so I just want to throw that out there. There's also more information about that in the box below. This is the best way to uncover those gifts and skills. This is a modern day mystery school. It's 12 sessions going to starting September 30th, going to mid-December. Thursdays, again, you don't have to make the live class. You could still be a part of the group completely if the live time doesn't work in your time zone. So if you are ready to get on that train, to activate that light body, to discover who you really are and your role here, that is the best way for supernova souls. This is the offering, the only way to work with me directly right now. I've just gotten this message that this is the information, this in-depth chakra work and understanding the energy anatomy, activation, clearing, healing in a very systematic way. This is what supernova souls need right now to come into their potential. So I hope you'll consider joining me for those activation, soul group session, the intuitive training, and just know we're feeling it. Like it's like that momentum is building. The labor has started now. Maybe the contractions are a little bit further apart, but it's only going to get more until we get to this 0 point. And so starting now on this equinox, all the way to the end of the year, the solstice, incredibly crucial time. It's the turning of the tables, the turning of the tide, the great awakening. So here we are together, and let's stay connected and present in this. It's like definitely the energy of like, don't miss a moment. Time is completely going away, like our relationship to time as we knew it in the past. So let that happen. We come to a time where, when we go through rapid changes, there's always this human nature to have a resistance, and a mistrust. And then you get to a point where the squeezing, this is what the squares are about in astrology. It's like squeezing, tension, can't keep going the way you're going. Gotta make a turn. That 90-degree turn, that is representational of levels of consciousness. The pyramid with the steps, it's like those 90-degree turns that's kind of what the geometrical picture of moving dimensional frequencies looks like, So here we are, tables turning. May the righteous reign again. It's time for us to inherit what's ours. So as much as you can in these turbulent times, enjoy the discovery of that massive wealth within you, your destiny, your calling, absolute confirmation of everything, reason why you've gone through what you've gone through. Because we need you. We need you right now. And thank you for being here. So let's stay connected. Have a wonderful weekend. I look forward to seeing you soon on that activation, soul group session, intuitive training. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.